All right, so then we want to welcome you to the Rise of the 1% podcast, where you're going to discover the strategies, the tools, and the insights to dominate and get into the top 1% of your industry. I am G Bass, alongside me, JC Williams.
Yes, sir. Man, what's going on, G?
I'm doing great. Man, how about yourself?
Man, definitely, man. I'm blessed as well. You know, I'm excited about what we about to share with our audience now.
Absolutely.
Moving forward, I know we've been doing a lot in home-based business. We brought on some great individuals when it came down to the home-based business and marketing and everything. So now we about to kind of like switch up some sectors, put some highlights on different areas that people want to improve in when it comes down to business, life. You know, it's not always just gonna be business, but you know, definitely we about to hit on some more assets. So I'm excited about this episode that we got going on. And man, just excited about like everything that we're doing together as a community, you know, even with the academy that we actually having that we putting together. But it's already together, but we adding on to it.
Exactly. And for you all that's actually tuned in as well, if you are an entrepreneur, business owner, you're looking for more strategy to be able to scale and take your business, income, and lifestyle to the next level, make sure you check us out at www.theriseofthe1%.com. We have more information over there on our Rise of the 1% Academy. But with that said, ready to go on and dive in?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So today, we actually have special guests on the Rise of the 1% podcast. We have Mr. Tim Harvey and also Mr. William Galloway. Okay. Tim Harvey was actually born in Atlanta, Georgia, raised in Hampton. We went to school. He's the founder and chief executive officer for HD Investments and has been involved in the Georgia residential and real estate industry since 2000. Okay. He actually focuses mostly on wholesaling, rehabbing, short sales, and rentals in terms of buying and holding. And not only that, he does a whole lot for the community.
Right. And then I just want to even add on to it, you know, as we bring them in, like how I even got introduced to these guys. You know, they actually doing major work. And we got some great experts here, man, that has like 20 years, close to 20 years just in the game when it comes down to the real estate. And like so my assistant, man, she was able to go to one of these guys' events, and they do them all the time here in the Atlanta area. And she was trying to learn a little bit about the real estate game, so she really got inspired. So that gave me the tendency to look a little deeper into these guys. So I'm definitely excited. You know what I mean? While we about to hop in here. Yeah.
Absolutely. Great stuff. Thank you. And our other special guest today is Mr. William Galloway, who was born in Chicago, Illinois, and moved to Atlanta at the age of 6. And he's the founder and chief executive officer for Big House Investors LLC, and has a firm foundation as well in the real estate industry, with expertise as well in rehabbing, wholesaling, and rentals in terms of buying and holding. Not only that, he's also on clubs, clothing store, and a barbershop.
Great.
And as well does a whole lot for the community as well, which we'll talk a lot about that, I'm pretty sure, in the podcast interview. So with that said, let's welcome to the Rise of the 1% podcast, Mr. Tim Harvey and Mr. William Galloway.
Absolutely. Hey guys, we certainly appreciate. Listen, guys, we just want to say thank you so much for bringing us on. We certainly appreciate you guys for what you're doing. We certainly appreciate, your aspirations. I really love the name, the Rise of the 1%. Listen, in times like these, you really need aspirational businesses such as this that people can see and people can be influenced by. And in times like this, so guys, we are so grateful that you guys have this podcast and that you guys are actually doing what you're doing. So big ups to you guys, big ups to your rise in the community. Thank you so much for those introductions.
Absolutely. We appreciate you. Definitely. Absolutely.
Yep.
So with that said, we'll go on and dive in. So if you all could, Tim and even William, I know I've basically read you all's bio, some information from you all's bio, but if you could, if you want, go a little bit more in detail in terms of, you all's business, a little bit about your journey and what you're currently working on at this time.
Okay. Well, I'll start off first. I just want to thank God. He gave us an opportunity to even do this. He's responsible for us being, right here in this place at this time. It's an appropriate time to do it on a Sunday, I guess.
Right. Absolutely.
So just a little bit about myself, and I'll just kind of dive into, Will's going to dive into a little bit about himself after I tell mine. But listen, guys, I grew up, like I said, I grew up here in Atlanta, Georgia. Solid middle class guy, and always wanted to be an entrepreneur. My dad was in corporate America for most of his career. And suddenly, he lost his job because his company had gotten gobbled up by a bigger company. So my dad was forced into entrepreneurship. He always wanted to be an entrepreneur, but he was forced into entrepreneurship, and that really influenced me. Because as a kid, I was always the guy that that sold candy. And I was the guy that sold lockers. I was that guy. Had a lawn service. All that stuff as a kid. So my dad. Once I got to college, my dad, he said, you can either travel, to go to college, or you can go to college locally, and I'll give you a business. And I chose to go to college locally, and he gave me I started a vending machine business at 18 years old, and I grew to about 100 locations. And after a couple of years, had a couple of employees, and after a couple of years, got the big head and screwed away the business. But the entrepreneur bug never left me. Ended up working in corporate America for a couple of years. I worked in a restaurant, a place called, I don't know if you remember, but there was a place called Steak and Ale, and I was the youngest general manager there, and I just got burned out. I was working about 80 hours a week, and that's when I realized that hey, I really want to be an entrepreneur again. So another good, and I had a quote unquote good job, guys. So another good friend of mine came to me, and he had he worked for Coca-Cola. He had a good job, but we were both working our tails off, working about 90 hours a week. You know how they take advantage of you. Right. But anyway, he had we had started an investment club, and we started kind of getting into real estate, and my dad had he had an old house that I got a chance to renovate. So my partner, he came to me. He's like, "Hey, man, I'm about to quit my job," and I was at that point too. So I was like, "Man, let's go ahead and do it." So we both quit our jobs and got into real estate at that time, and this was about 2000. And at this time, I got in, jumped in head first, didn't have any training or anything. I just believed in it. And we did one deal and really got our butts handed to us on that first deal. Didn't make any money, but I was cooked. I was cooked on the freedom. And so ended up doing real estate. Well, until 2008. You guys know what happened. In 2008 there was a crash, and at that time I wasn't. I listened to all the wrong people because what I ended up doing was, instead of staying in the business. Because how many guys know that, during this time, when there's a crash, it's a good time to get, you get into the business. So, during the bad economy, that's the best time to get into business. So anyway, ended up, going to go get another 9 to 5. And I worked at 9 to 5, for a couple of years. And I got into network marketing during the time. And network marketing really helped me with my mindset. Now, I noticed that you guys had another one of my old network marketing friends on the podcast, Mark Quill, and we were both in the same company. But anyway, getting into that business really helped me with my mindset. It took my mindset to a whole nother level. And so eventually I got to a point where I was, working on 9 to 5. And, another friend of mine, we were both in the same cubicle. And, and both of us, we wanted to get back into real estate. We realized we wanted to get back into real estate full time. And we started looking, like we started really mindsetting our way out of our jobs. Everybody thought we were crazy because we were making good money on our jobs, on our corporate jobs. But we really started mindsetting our way out of our jobs. So a short while later, he got fired first. and then I got fired, but I didn't care because because guess what? I done my first real estate deal again, and started wholesaling, and it just went from there. And a couple of years later, right around 2014, I was looking at, I don't know if you guys are familiar with what's called bandit signs in our business. And bandit signs, those signs that you see on roads,
Right.
those
Yeah,
right
we're
there.
gonna get a little bit into that. Yeah,
Exactly. Bandit sign, and the bandit sign said Uncle Bill buys houses. That's why you got Uncle Bill right there. But
Nice.
okay.
but I ended up calling that bandit sign, and I didn't realize that I had a brother, and since I mean it's just my brother from another mother, and we started doing business together. And how many of you guys know that Black people can do business together and be successful as long
Right.
as you got the right things to tie you inside. So we found out that we had the same principles, same ideals. We both love God, and we've been doing business, ever since then. So we started. I'm gonna let him tell, the rest of the story from here. So go ahead.
Right. Right. Because I want to just intervene real quick.
Yeah.
Because like you was saying that's how y'all met through the bandit sign.
Yeah.
And so like what it was, Will, that was on that sign to actually bring you in for you to call. What did it say?
He said something about he had a house for sale, and I'm always calling those times. I always call them. I'm just the kind of
Oh
person
yeah.
that
Right.
you can get me to call.
Yeah.
So I called that sign, and me and him ended up doing business together. And
Okay.
like I said, I mean, we've been doing business ever since. And I let him kind of tell the rest.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, we can.
Okay, cool. So yeah, that's typically that's pretty much how we actually met from a bandit sign. So I'll just kind of backtrack a little bit about my background, and then I'll get back to when we met and where we went from that point. Uh, Again, like my bio say, I'm originally from Chicago, South Side, Inglewood. I actually left there at an early age. I left there when I was 6 years old. My dad got transferred. He got a better job, better opportunity because Chicago is really rough. So at the time, he was searching for another job, and he got a job transfer in Atlanta. So he went and moved down there first, and then he sent for my mom and my sister, and my brother. We came shortly after, and again, I was about 6 years old. So pretty much, I really claim Atlanta because I've been here most of my life, but I was just born there.
Right.
So, as far as my background, similar to like Tim, I just always had that hustle bug in me. I always wanted to have my own. I always had another hustle or just doing stuff. When I was younger, I was the barbershop cleanup guy, cleaning up the barbershops, making side money. And when I was in there, one thing I noticed, like all my life, I've always been around hustlers. I've always been around people who just entrepreneurs, just people who always just wanted to make their own money.
Yeah.
And that was, it was a good thing about that, and it was a bad thing about that. The good thing about it is it instilled, a hustle mentality and a grind inside of me that I still have to today. The bad side about it is, of course, when you're around the wrong people, you kind of pick up their bad habits as well. So, when I picked up some habits that wasn't the best, I got into early life. I got into the streets. My mom and my dad separated, so that allowed me to have a little bit more freedom because my mom was a single mom doing her, what she could to fend for our family. So again, it gave me the freedom to be able to kind of hang around those wrong crowds and pick up bad habits. Got into the hustle life and start getting to that lifestyle. Then I went from that to making enough money to where I did want to go legitimately, and I eventually back in 2008 I did start a couple of businesses. I had a barbershop, a clothing store, and then I had a nightclub, which was all in Alabama. Uh, that was back in 2008. Back in 2010 is when I met my now wife, and that's when I kind of got a little bit more serious about my life. We both, was in a point of our lives where, we knew God, but we didn't really know God the way we know him now. We both decided to get saved. 2 years later, we end up, getting married. We met in 2010, 2012. 2 years after that, we ended up getting married. I was still trying to find myself. I still didn't really know what lane I was going to go in. And I just started doing research, and real estate just came about. I knew a little bit about real estate, but I didn't know too much about it. So I kind of just did my own little research back then in 2012. It wasn't a whole lot of educational platforms like it is now. So I had to go through YouTube University, to kind of learn most of what I've known now, and then a lot of trial and error. So back in 2012 is kind of like when I first started, and I think me and Tim, we met probably around about maybe another year or two after that, maybe in 2014, I believe. We crossed paths. Like he said, he saw my sign, because at the time, it's only so many different kind of marketing channels you could do. When I first got started, bandit signs was my main source. It was very inexpensive, and I had the time to get out there in the streets and put them out there, and I also was doing like yellow letters and handwritten postcards and stuff like that. But like Tim said, he met me, my signs say Uncle Bill buy houses cash. He called one of my signs. We met up, and we just instantly connected, like he said, and we knew that we had some of the same values. For one, we put Christ first, so that was one thing that stood out to me about him. And he had the will to want to be better and help people, and that's what intrigued me about the relationship that we had. It wasn't only a business relationship, but it was a spiritual relationship, and I'm all about business, of course, business, but spiritual always, because that's what brought me and my wife together. So when I seen that me and him had a lot of spiritual similarities back, so that's when we started doing business together. And again, when you're doing business with somebody, we knew that we had a higher purpose, and our higher purpose was like, man, we both seeing success, we both doing well in the business. So how can we bless other people, and how can we be a benefit to other people? So that's when 2015 came, and we kind of had the idea to come together and do a meetup and try to teach people what we know, but not put a charge on it, because there's so many courses out here, so many gurus out here that has all these different real estate courses and different educational platforms, which are all, a lot of them are great platforms. But we knew that getting started, a lot of people don't have that money up front to trying to get started in real estate. So we wanted to have a platform and build a community where we could teach it and not really charge. And that's when the birth of Wholesale as a Rush came about back in 2015. Again, in the beginning, it was all he say, she say, let's do it, but nothing happened. And then we just said, you know what, man, let's put it on paper, because a vision starts on paper first. You got to put it on paper. And when we met at a Barnes and Noble, and we met at the Barnes and Noble, we said we're not going to leave here until we get it all on paper, and we have a specific date that we're going to launch it. And we put it all together. We didn't leave until all that was done. And 2015, we put together our first meetup at the Piccadilly over on Gobby Road in College Park by the airport. They said we can, as long as people eating, we can get the ballroom for free. So, we packed it out, and hey, now we are 5 years later, man. And we've just been so blessed, man, to help people close their first deals. We've been, partnering with so many different people. We've been able to elevate other people's businesses to 6-figure plus businesses, and not only elevate other people's businesses, it's elevated us as well. So that's just that's just the story of how we gotten from our individual journeys to now the journey of working together with other people with Wholesale as a Rush.
Powerful.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Powerful, man. Powerful journey.
Yeah, and the platform like that we have right here, this is like one of those things that's what the purpose is. Like, we want to be able to give out this free information for people to tune in and be able to learn these things. Same way how y'all was doing, your meetups and everything. Like, people can't afford certain courses, or they be looking on YouTube, looking at different things and everything like that. But like, people that's been through the trenches, that's already got the knowledge, sometimes it's just best that we just give back and give back to everyone.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I do want to hit on some of the things though before we get on in real estate about the journey, because you know it's just like all of us, like all four of us, man, we got that type of makeup of the entrepreneur because we all start like with the environment, what we may seen as kids, you know, like with your dad, you know what I'm saying, like with your dad, and then like just the environment, and then we all kind of got routed a different type of way. Maybe we followed the wrong crowd, you know, and got into some things, and then now, and then it's funny too. We were having this conversation yesterday because like we actually did the network marketing business as well,
Right.
and, and you know like. And you know, we'll have like we always show homage to it. Like we have our own businesses now,
Right.
and everything. And we always show homage to it because like network marketing was like the thing that really changed our mindset.
Changed the mindset.
Yeah.
Really great personal development. Absolutely.
Yeah, it really did.
And learning more about business. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you know,
I have to really say that just my experience in network marketing, like I wouldn't be anywhere close to where I am if it wasn't for my experience in network marketing. My experience in network marketing taught me, it showed me that I could leave corporate America at any time. I just had to make my mind up. You know what I'm saying? So and you know, and that's what network marketing really, really did for me. So I'm forever grateful for it. I'm forever grateful for all those times, you know, traveling and, you know, not making money, but traveling.
Right. We went through all that. We went through all that.
Yeah, man. We put a lot of work in it, boy.
A lot of work.
Yeah, man. So it's great just to hear from you guys, and you know, one of the main elements, like y'all connected spiritually. That one of the things that really how y'all made a decision on even doing business together. It all starts spiritually first.
Right.
And then like, I always like to tell people too, man, like no matter how many ideas that you have in your head, it's so key that you put it down on paper.
That's right.
Because like our minds is always moving. So if you don't put it down on paper, it's easy for, all right, tomorrow you be like, oh man, that was a great idea, but I don't even remember, you know, like what it was. So it's just like, yeah, man,
you got to write the vision and make it plain.
Yeah, so it's on you to take action. Right.
Yeah. And you got to speak it into existence too. We can't leave that part out. You got to speak the vision into existence. Yep. You know what I'm saying? Like your tongue is powerful, so you got to utilize what's in you, you know, to bring it to birth too. So you know, it starts on paper, and then it got to come out, and it got to be spoken and believed upon, so it'll be, you know, so it'll be real.
It is absolutely
all right. Yeah. So, all right, guys. So I'm gonna go ahead and hop into some real estate talk. All right.
Okay.
And I wanted to start off with the first question for.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
But we definitely can do that. Absolutely. So what I wanted to ask, because it might be some people listening to this podcast who don't necessarily even know what wholesaling is, don't know what rehabbing is, don't know about any of that type of stuff, short selling and stuff. So can you all explain like what that is, like wholesaling, doing rehabbing, short selling, etc.? Can you all explain what that is?
Let's talk about wholesaling first, because I believe wholesaling is really the foundation for any of this. I know when I started backwards. I started off rehabbing first, but after a life of experience, I realized that that wholesaling is really the foundation of any of this. And really, what wholesaling basically is you contact the seller, and typically the way that the sellers that we contact are sellers that need to sell, not necessarily want to sell, but sellers that need to sell. And we access certain lists, access certain information, and how to get in touch with these kinds of sellers. And when we contact these sellers, and we contact them through various means, Will talked about, one of them through bandit signs. But when we contact these sellers, then, we find out, we ask them whether they want to, buy, whether they want to sell their house. And, a lot of them want to sell their house, or a lot of them need to sell their house. And if you come into agreement with one of them, then you put it you put the house under contract.
Mm-hmm.
And typically, you're going to get the house under contract for a discount, because the people, they need to sell their house and they want cash for their house. It's almost like a pawn shop. So anyway, you're going to put the house under contract. So on the other side, you've got this one, you've gotten a contract or an agreement on one side. Now on the other side, we have, people that want to buy houses, people that want to do renovations, rehabs, rentals, and things of that nature. They want to keep houses. So you, as the wholesaler, your job is to connect, the seller to the buyer or the person that wants to keep the house. And what you do is once you connect, you get paid, a fee, and that fee is what's called an assignment fee. And that assignment is what connects the buyer and the seller. And then your assignment fee is how you get paid within the business. So the reason that you may see something that says, get into real estate with no cash, without any credit, without any cash, that's the way that you get into real estate. That is through that. And that's
all right. So look, all right, I want to try to break those elements down.
Mm-hmm.
So I do want to know why you guys decided to specialize in the wholesaling part. Like that's mainly what y'all teach. Is wholesaling, right?
Yeah.
Like what was, because like I know y'all have different experiences on all the different aspects on development and flipping them and all that. So like why did y'all like specialize in wholesaling?
Well, I mean, for one thing, for me, it was a complete accident. I know, during the first half of my career, I was doing strictly buying and renovating and, things of that nature. But then the second half of my career, I started doing what are called short sales. And short sale is when when somebody needs to, they need to sell their house. Their house is actually getting ready to go into foreclosure. And you do a technique called, once you get it under contract, you contact the bank. And they may be over leveraged in their house. Like for instance, the house may be worth $100,000 and they owe $110,000 on the house. So they're over leveraged. So in that case, what you're doing is, you're contacting the bank and be like, hey, this person owes way too much on their house. And the bank says, yeah, we agree with you. So, we'll take less than what's owed on the house in order to get rid of the house. And the bank agrees on that. So I was doing a short sale, a couple of years ago, and an attorney told me that that somebody else wanted to buy it from me, and I was like, you mean I don't have to necessarily like buy it, and he's like, yeah, somebody wants to buy it from you, and it blew my mind, so I ended up that was one of my first wholesale deals, and from there, just working through different techniques on how to on how to find these sellers. Then I got pretty good at it, and now it's just one of the techniques that's in our gun that will allow us to to make money in real estate. In real estate, the whole goal is to make money. You help people, and you make money. So that's just one of the ways to make money. So. You get pretty good at it, and we teach that technique because it's a simple technique. People don't need credit. They don't need cash. Maybe they need a little bit of cash to for their marketing, but you really don't need much to get started in real estate. And other than your mindset, a phone and a list. Those are the things that you need. So.
Yeah, all right. Because like, you answered it perfectly. Yeah, you did. You answered it perfectly. Because the thing about it, like how you saying that you don't need cash, what a little bit for marketing, and then you need a list and or you don't need credit. So that's good for like people that's maybe interested in getting real estate and don't have those things. Like you can be like illiterate to the whole aspect of it and be able to make some money right away.
Right.
I think, to me, honestly, I think sometimes even like people may not know about it, or they may be intimidated because you think you gotta do a whole bunch of trainings, like what it is, like with the real estate and your license and everything like that, and like this, you don't even have to even get a license for. That's different. So like,
we had an example that we have is I just give a quick example. We had one young lady. Was she a Lyft driver or a DoorDash? She was a DoorDash driver, and a substitute teacher. And listen, on our very first deal, I mean, she was actually going to go do a delivery, and at the delivery, she saw like a vacant building, and she contacted, she found a way to contact the owner, and she contacted that owner. It turned out the owner wanted to sell their house, not the house, but that owner wanted to sell the building. So she contacted us, because we're the experts, and she contacted us and let us know. And we found the buyer, and she made $26,000 on our first deal, but it was just based off of it was just based off of a telephone call or just contacting the owner. And it was that simple. And I'm not saying that every deal is like that, because most of the time they're a little bit more nuanced. But that's just an example of of what can happen within this crazy business. So that's
Right.
that's what makes it so attractive. I mean, we have deals where obviously we make good money on some deals, but then we sometimes make little money on other deals. But we've been blessed nonetheless to be able to help a lot of people, just be able to turn their lives around, because their goal might not even be real estate. Their goal may be, to own do a charity or something like that. But real estate is that vehicle that can get them there, quickly. So that's what we believe.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome. So like, even I want to hit back on that story because like, okay, what would be the difference between a wholesaler and a real estate agent then? Like, is it, or are they kind of similar? It's just one got a license and a wholesaler just doesn't? Like, what's the
Well,
difference
you want to
between?
answer the question?
What was that?
The difference between a wholesaler and a real estate agent?
Well, I mean, the main difference is the fact that a real estate agent holds a license. That's really the main thing. They hold a license, and I can't really speak for a real estate agent because I'm not a licensed agent, but I will say that a real estate agent, they are licensed, but they're licensed they have to be licensed under a brokerage, so they have rules and regulations that they have to abide by. If you're a wholesaler, you just an investor, you kind of work on your own terms. So there's really, as long as you're abiding by, legal laws of real estate, you're not really hold up under the same standards as somebody who's holding a license, because that person is, responsible for, reporting back to their broker about certain transactions. They have to disclose to anybody they're doing business with that they're a licensed agent. But a lot of the agents do wholesale, so a lot of agents wholesale. They like the fact that they have access to the MLS. They like the fact that they can do traditional listings, to where they can target homeowners or target traditional buyers who want to buy like a first time home, or somebody who's looking to buy something. They can represent them because they have a license. As an investor or a wholesaler, you typically can't represent nobody without a license. A wholesaler pretty much just have a property, put it under contract, and at that point their main objective is just to try to sell that contract or try to assign that contract. So
Okay.
it's that's the only pretty much difference. They're just agents are just hold up under those standards of that license and regulations of what that license stand for up under the brokerage that they're up under, compared to a wholesaler who kind of pretty much work on their own will, and they're not up under any guidelines like an agent is.
Right.
Makes sense.
Okay.
So
So,
as an
yeah.
agent, you're an employee. As an agent, you're an employee, and as a wholesaler, you pretty much have your own business per se.
Okay. Okay. Right. Right. That makes sense. That makes sense. Now, I do want to go back, like, all right, how you could get started in it. So, like, when you think about, like, okay, all right, real estate agents, they have access to these MLS listings and they get the first home buyers. Now, the whole thing with a wholesaler, like, how would you find these houses or motivated sellers?
You can go ahead and cover that one, Uncle Bill.
Well, I mean, I think in any business, I mean, it don't matter what type of business you're in. Marketing got to be the heart of your company. You know, we went over a couple of different ways. I think a lot of real estate agents and wholesalers kind of use some of the same marketing channels. They're kind of really the same. You know, you got the ones that's you can start off the ones that are somewhat free, all the way up to the ones that cost a lot. Some of the ones, you know, just to throw some of them out there. Of course, we mentioned bandit signs, what we started with. You can send mailers and postcards to a specific list. You can send, you know, now you can get a specific list and you can target that list in different ways. You can target them with a text message. You could target them with a voicemail. You can target them with a cold call. You call them directly and try to ask them, do they want to actually sell that property? You know, of course, you got commercials where you can take it a step further with commercials on radio, on TV. You can do billboards. I mean, you know, it's so many different ways, you know, that you can target, and a lot of these different ways you can use in different type of businesses. You just got to kind of be proactive and be consistent with whatever it is you're doing, and whatever fits your budget. You know, that's what we always, when people ask us, what should we be doing, when they just get started, we always say specifically focus on being an expert in one thing, and whatever that one thing is, it has to fit your budget. You know, you can start off with you know, just calling for sale by owners online, going on Craigslist, going on Facebook, going, you know, on for sale by owners, Zillow, you know, calling those leads. Those are just free internet leads that's just sitting there. You can call them directly, you know. If you don't have no money, if you do have some money, then you can handwrite some letters, or you can have a company print letters out for you. Or again, like we talked about earlier, bandit signs, you know, you can handwrite your own signs. You know, if you don't got no money, get some cardboard, write on the cardboard, put it out there. Do it on the days when it's not raining, so so it don't get damaged. You know, do whatever you got to do. The point is, just do something, you know, and do it consistently, whatever it is, and do one thing so you don't oversaturate and confuse yourself and get kind of overwhelmed with trying to juggle so many things at one time. And I'm just speaking on the people who just getting started. Choose one thing, whatever that one thing is that fits within your budget, and just kind of work it until you can work every day until you start generating consistent leads. And then of course, you know, lead generation goes to lead conversion, and then lead conversion goes to disposition, which means, you know, selling that property. And that's, you know, that's a whole nother, you know, the other side of, you know, once you get it under contract or once you get that property, that's the other side. But yeah, that's pretty much, I mean, all marketing is the same. It's just about being consistent with doing it.
Right. Do y'all do any internet-based marketing like Google AdWords, Facebook ads, anything? Or you all just mostly doing bandit signs and, like you say, direct mail and stuff like that?
I spent a lot of money on Facebook ads at one time.
Okay. Yeah, that's how I think. That's how I think when I rise to the 1% company. That's what I was asking as well. Absolutely.
Yeah. Now I see a lot of these bandit signs out here. Now, when these bandit signs, I want to see if this the language. Like when they say we'll buy your house for cash. Is these wholesalers or is these like actually investors? Like what's the language y'all put on y'all bandit signs to attract, you know, your customers?
Really all of the above, you know, like you know, it's not, I mean, a bandit sign is just meant to just get somebody's attention, you know, like, because I can't really just sit here and say it's specifically for wholesalers. Like a lot of wholesalers use it, but hey, you know, you got landlords and cash buyers, people who looking to buy properties. That's a way of them getting in touch with people, so they might use it. Now you got real estate agents; they're starting to, you know, approach, because a lot of real estate agents they're now partnering with, you know, some of the hedge funds and some of the iBuyers like Open Door and Zillow and OfferPad. So now they can come at sellers, say they buy houses. So really, a bandit sign is just a marketing tool for anybody who in the real estate business, period. No matter if you're a wholesaler, if you're a real estate agent, if you're a landlord, if you're a flipper, whatever, it is really just a resource, a tool just to get in touch with homeowners who want to sell their houses. Because we're really after the same people, you know, if you think about it. So it's just a resource. It's a marketing channel to target those people.
Right.
And do you all have any type of strategy in terms of, like, you know, putting the bandit signs out? Like, what areas you all put the bandit signs out in?
I mean, it's no strategy. I mean, of course, you know, you want to go in areas where we typically like to stay in lower income, middle class areas, specifically in the city. We do go in suburbs as well. high traffic areas where a lot of cars are going to be driving by. Of course, high traffic stores and restaurants, fast food restaurant drive-throughs, the Home Depots, the Walmarts, the gas station, anywhere where it's a lot of traffic, where people are going to see your sign. That's where it need to be.
Awesome.
All right, sir.
Awesome. All right. So we got that out of the way. All right.
Well,
So
let me just rephrase that: when they can come to a stop and read your sign, because you don't want it to be where it's ongoing traffic and they just driving by, but anywhere it's high traffic, like at a stop sign or stoplight, where they're gonna stop and they have time to read it. Let me rephrase that.
right. Okay. Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. All right. So now I'm starting out. So first thing is marketing. All right. Just get it out there, building up a list, making those connections, right? Now, what is the language like? What is the thing that you get into next after you do the marketing? And what is like you got to evaluate a deal? Like, what's the next step?
I'm gonna go over the 3 steps, and then Tim can touch into like the second step. So I'm gonna just go over the 3 steps, like when you really looking at a deal specifically for a wholesale. So there's really like 3 steps. So really is is lead conversion, which we went over, which is marketing. Lead generation. I'm sorry. Lead generation is one, which we talked about marketing. Lead conversion is once the leads start coming in, you got to convert those leads. You got to convert them into an actual contract or into an opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
And then lead disposition is, of course, now you have to actually sell it off, and you have to actually turn that conversion into an actual profit, meaning contract disposition into that goes into disposition. The lead conversion goes into acquisition, and then I hope I'm not confusing y'all, but I'm going from lead generation first. Yeah. Let me start back. Lead generation first is marketing. Lead conversion is acquisitions. When you convert that, now that the leads are coming in, now you got to convert it into a contract. Mm-hmm. And then dispositions is when you're now trying to sell that property off, and you're trying to sell it to try to make a profit to get to a closing. So we went over lead generation, which consists of marketing.
The marketing part, the lead generation part. And I know we just lost them, but Tim.
So once we do that lead, do that lead generation, then the next part is of course the lead conversion. And the lead conversion is typically where our partners bring us in through wholesalers or us, because our partners, doing a lot of the marketing, the different marketing channels. Our partners are doing a lot of the marketing through those different marketing channels. And, like, hey, I got a lead, I've got somebody that's ready, that wants to sell their house. So, typically, our job, which is the next step is conversion, is to actually, number one, analyze a deal, analyze and see if it's a deal, and, make an offer, analyze the deal, and see if it makes sense. And then, once we make that offer, then that's what converts into a contract. And that's typically a lot of our partners, they give us a call once they actually have the lead generated. And our job is actually converted. And then, and then the next part is the dispositions part. So that's where we all make a good team is, like me and Will. I mean, sometimes we buy a lot of the houses that people bring to us. But then at the other side, we also have people that, we also have other people that want to buy, that are ready to buy from us, a ready waiting list of people that are ready to buy houses cash from us. So that makes it all a good team of where we work. So for instance, when it comes to the lead conversion, that's where we may need to get on the phone with the seller and say, hey, this is our offer, and the seller may better understand us because we've been in the business for a while, and we know how to talk the talk, we know how to sell, whatever it is that's going to make sense. And we also know what's going to make sense on the other side, because we also understand our market. So, we have I guess a broad view of what's going to happen, once a lead comes in or once a lead has been generated. So that's one thing that I wish I had, during the first half of my, when I first got into the business. I wish I had that, but now, we've got this part going on through Wholesalers R Us. And the thing about it is, like, we don't charge for that. The way that we get paid is, we have to prove ourselves. So we do a partnership. And within that partnership, that's how we all get paid, and we break bread together. And that's how we work.
Right. All right. So that's all right. Now it's kind of get y'all whole system, because now it's like y'all have partnerships with not only. All right. So y'all setting up the marketing where you have people going out, you teaching them, so they do the lead generation part.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Y'all do the conversion part. Like y'all do the whole conversion. Y'all put together the contracts, and after that, the disposition part, like when y'all have to find the buyers in there, because that's another partnership. So I see how y'all got the whole system going. Like, yeah, that's powerful. So people could just like coming in, like if I'm new, I could just focus on lead generation.
Exactly. You just focus on lead generation. And see, here's the beautiful thing about it. I know you guys remember network marketing. I remember, sometimes, it takes a long time to get paid. And, you've got to get your mind right, and you've got to have the mindset for, it might be a couple of years. So with this, we want to kind of cut out that time, have to cut out the frustration of, waiting to get paid. You've got a partner on the other side that's going to help you get paid like now. And that kind of keeps your head in the game. It keeps you focused and keeps you going. So, I remember being in network marketing. Our whole thing was to help somebody get their first check. It might have been $75, but it was a check, right?
Right.
Well, in this case, our goal, is to help our partner, get their first check. And we want to make sure we do it quickly, because if we do it quickly, if we help them get their first check quickly, then guess what? They're going to keep their heads in the game, and that belief level goes up. So, and it helps you, it may help you, find a career. This may be something that you've been praying about. You be like, hey, God brought it to me, and now here's the manifestation. So that's our job, is to kind of help that manifestation part on the other side.
Yeah, that's powerful. Yeah, it's team. I mean, it takes a team.
Absolutely.
Like, it takes a team. So yeah, that's powerful. All right,
so instead of and there are a lot of trainings out there, where you coaches, that you pay and all that stuff, and all that's fine. But we put ourselves in position to where we have to prove ourselves. The Bible says, God says, "Prove me now herewith." God will prove Himself. So we have to prove ourselves, continually, and proving ourselves is like, let us put our money where our mouth is. If it's a good deal, we know we can either buy it or we can help you sell it. One or the other, or we can make, we can kind of help make it happen quickly, and that's our goal. Now you can do all this on your own, but the time that it takes, for a lot of us to do it all on our own, it's not fair, because sometimes you may have a full-time job, you may be, a full-time mom or dad or something like that, and you just may not have time. You may just want to be like, hey guys, let me give you this lead and let me sit back and work. So that's, that's our goal, is to help that belief level go up.
Man, powerful. Yeah, I love it. All right, so this one I'm gonna get into now on y'all side, right? You putting the contracts together. So how do you put these contracts together? Like, how you come up with the deal?
I want to understand. I want to make sure I understand what you mean by putting the contracts together.
All right, so like, how do you come up with the whole, like, putting the deal together, like, or how you evaluate it?
And one thing that we do is, we got to give a shout out to Lachette, who keeps everything together for us. But one thing that we do is, once something comes in, then, we typically will meet up, on the phone, Zoom, or what have you. And we'll analyze deals. We'll take a couple of hours to actually analyze deals, that come into our sphere. And me and Will, we've been in business a combined, 20 something years. And so just by looking, looking at a market, we can tell whether something's going to be a deal or not. So I guess from a standpoint of the actual contracts, the actual contracts are typically generated, from, hey, I mean, you can find a contract on the internet. We understand that. So, from the actual contracts, but there are certain things that we have to make sure we put into the contracts to make sure that, they are fail proof, meaning, us or our partners aren't going to lose money. So, from those actual contracts, yeah, I mean, those contracts are just done over time. You know what I'm saying? Me and him,
Okay.
Some of the things that, that made, a lot of people, lose money, when they put something under contract. But me and Will, I mean, we know ways to where we can actually make that contract fail proof to where, you're not going to lose any money, when you put something under contract with the seller.
Okay. All right.
I hope that makes sense. I wanted to make sure I answered your question.
No, it did. And like what it is, Tim, like I'm trying to get a little bit like deeper into it, even on that. All right. So, all right, when you evaluating the deals, right? All right, you said depending on where you can automatically tell by the market. Okay. So like, does anything has to deal with any type of rehab, or y'all just, you know what I'm saying, like just saying like this person, this the asking price or whatever, and then y'all figure out.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Okay.
that's a good question. Yeah, we try to think of it as if we're actually going to do the rehab. So, in a lot of cases, we're not going to do the rehab ourselves, but, we put ourselves in the mindset of someone that is going to do the rehab. Me and him in our individual businesses, we do rehabs and renovation. So we know pretty much what the numbers are, but we try to put ourselves in a position of somebody that is going to renovate and rehab it. And we try to look at the numbers from their perspective. And if we look at the numbers from their perspective, then we can kind of back in and put our number, within that number. And it'll be something that makes sense to everybody that's involved. And fortunately for us, it just, that those things come through relationships. They actually come through time. Typically there's what's called a and I just want to go ahead and say it. There's what's called a 65% rule. Okay. So and it has to do with ARV, which is after repair value. And so after repair value is what the house is going to be worth after you fix it up, right? So we typically back in 65% of that after repair value, because typically a lender, what they call a hard money lender, is going to lend up to 65% of what that house is worth minus the repairs. And that 65% minus the repairs is what's going to get you your number of where you need to be, with a seller. So those are the things that we typically look at. And then your arbitrage or your profit is going to be, anywhere below that number, the 65% minus the repairs. And that's how it's going to be a decent deal.
That's how you know a decent deal.
For somebody that's going to buy it. And that's what makes it easy.
Okay.
That's what makes it easy, an easy sell to somebody. Sometimes that 65% can go a little bit higher, but we try to stay around that area. And also, just me and Will, since we know the different areas, we know what'll fly based on that. That's why with wholesalers are us, you get two minds instead of one. So, when people come to us, they're not just getting one expert, they're getting two experts that, that can put their thinking caps on together, and they get double the value.
Awesome. Yeah, you definitely did. And I was going to ask you about that too, when you even got to the talking about the hard money lenders.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask, so how do you find hard money lenders?
They show up if it's a good deal. That's a great question, but just being in the industry, like when you come to networking events such as ours, when you come to, we've got, what are called RIAs, things of that nature. When you go to networking events, you're going to find hard money lenders. They're going to be out there, looking for deals that they can finance. And of course, that's where they make their money. So they're just going to be there.
Okay. All right. Now, how they do the deals, all right, so they using someone credit, right? So So like, how would they?
Hard money lender?
Right.
Typically, let me just kind of go back. A hard money lender is somebody that's going to lend money, for a house, and they're going to look at, they're looking at the house. They're not looking at anybody's credit. They're more or less looking at the house as collateral. They may look at it a little bit, but they're looking mostly at that house. And typically, a hard money lender may get their money, from, to get private funds, family members, things of that nature, people that have what are called IRAs, people that have 401ks, and they put all that money together and they come up with a fund, and that's how they lend their money. So that's typically a private money lender, a hard money lender. And then they, of course they lend for a fee and a percentage, and that's how they pay those people back.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
With the collateral of the real estate.
Right. It's the collateral of the real estate.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Okay. Yeah. All right. So I'm on board. So like, okay, we got a team here. We got the team that's getting the leads. All right. You guys, y'all evaluating the deals,
right.
Finding the hard money lenders, y'all putting all that.
We don't find the lenders. We don't find the lenders.
Oh, y'all don't? Okay.
Buyers. We find buyers, and those buyers typically have lenders in place.
Right.
I just want to make sure that's clear.
Okay.
We typically will find a buyer, and some buyers have cash. Some buyers have cash. Some buyers can reach into their bank accounts and make a payment. Can buy a house with cash. Some buyers can get what are called private funds. From friends and family, and pay for a house with cash. So that's how a lot of our buyers actually get their money. So cash or hard money. And we don't look for those. We actually look for the buyers that are actually getting those on their side.
All right, Tim. So look, even from the buyer side, you guys do the buyers, or do you have a team that actually does lead generation for the buyers?
Well, we are buyers. Number one, we are buyers.
I know you. Right.
Right. And we bought quite a few homes this month, but we are buyers, and we have teams that do that as well. I'll call everybody a team, because we have what's called a network. And y'all know the term, how your network is your net worth. Right. Well, in real estate, that's so true. It's very true. So, if you've got a large network of people that want to buy, real estate from you, then guess what? You can get paid every week. You can get paid every month. As long as you have the inventory, you can get paid all the time. So yeah, we have teams of buyers. We have buyers. We have buyers that are institutional, banks, things of that nature. So we've got a lot of different kinds of buyers that buy from us. They buy from us because they know us. We have careful relationships, with people that have bought from us for years, and they buy from us because they know us. So, that's pretty much how that works.
Okay. Awesome.
Now, I think I want to make sure I understand what your question. I want to kind of foretell a question. You might be asking, how do we contact those buyers, right?
Yep.
All right. I just want to make sure. Okay.
Yep.
The way we do that is typically it's the same way that we contact the seller.
Right. Exactly. Right. Yeah.
So, except in this case, we're contacting different kinds of people. So the marketing really doesn't change from one end to the next. The only difference here is we're contacting different kinds of people. And in this case, with our buyers, we have what are called pocket buyers. And, these are buyers that we've been working with for years, that we know that, hey, they say, hey, I can buy this house next week, or I can buy this house tomorrow. We have those kinds of buyers, that are there. But for the most part, we're going to send out emails, we're going to send out text message blasts, we do bandit signs, think the same way that we contact sellers is the same way that we contact buyers. The only difference is with the buyers, we have relationships. And that's the main difference, is that we have relationships with our buyers that are ongoing. So our side of the business is really like what's called a B2B business to business. So we deal with people that, that are in business. That makes sense?
All right. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So I'm just thinking about the 3 steps because, like, all right, we got the lead generation, and then we had the acquisition part, and then the last part you were saying was the disposition.
Yeah, lead generation, lead conversion.
What lead conversion?
Acquisition, then disposition.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right. Okay.
So the disposition side includes, like once you actually get something under contract with a buyer, you found somebody that's interested, you found somebody that's ready to go. And in conjunction with that, you're going to contact what's called an attorney. You're going to in Atlanta, in Georgia, here in Georgia, we use closing attorneys. In some other states, they use title companies. But here in Georgia, we're going to contact an attorney with that contract. And the attorney, what they're going to do is they're going to actually ratify the contract, make sure everything is good, from the seller's end and from the buyer's end. So with the seller, what they're looking for is liens, and when I say liens, that's any encumbrance upon a title. And when I say encumbrance upon a title, that means anything that may shield that title from being able to sell, or shield that house from being able to sell is on there. So the attorney is looking for that, okay? And within that time, they're also looking at the buyer to make sure there's nothing wrong with the buyer, it has a legitimate business, blah, blah, blah. So those things come together when the attorney, determines that there are no liens or encumbrances or nothing is big enough to pay, then it gets you to a point of where you can actually get to closing, which is everybody's favorite thing. We had one of our partners just recently, LaShawn Baker. LaShawn just closed a deal, and it was really, really funny. It was her second deal closing, and she said. And she said, the thing that blew her mind was she didn't have to go to the table to pick up a check. The attorney called her and asked her, "What's your wiring information?" and they wired her a check, and they wired her money to her, and the money came instantly. So she didn't have to go to a closing table or anything like that. They just wired her funds into her account, and that's just a funny thing now.
Oh, so the attorney did all that? Like the attorney, all right. So the attorney.
Once you successfully bring a buyer and seller together and you get a closing, that buyer actually brings that money to that closing table, bam, that's how you get paid. You get what's in between, you had where you had that contract with the seller. And where you're able to get that contract with the buyer, what's in between is yours. That's that's the gravy, and that's the call that LaShawn got, a couple of weeks ago when she got a call from the attorney. The attorney was like, she's one of our partners, and she's like, the attorney was like, "Where do you want your money sent? Do you want me to wire it?" And they wired her the funds, and it was there, like right there. It's like pressing a button. It's like bam,
Yeah, awesome. So Tim, I wanted to hit on like with that closing. Well, I'm gonna go back to the contract, right?
Yeah.
Now, is this something where y'all have like you have a certain percentage on what you call assignments? Like when you get paid off for assignment. That's so correct. Is it a certain percentage that you just do off each deal? Like how do you?
It changes. That's a great question. It changes from deal to deal. It depends on what me and Will have to do. For instance, like if we have to, do the contracts, we have to talk to the sellers, if there are different things that we have to do, then the percentage, our percentage goes up. If there are, if you've got a contract and all you want us to do is find a buyer, then our percentage goes down. So it just all depends on what it is we have to do. It works based off of a sliding scale. And then of course, we've back office. We've got a back office that does a lot of our work for us, and we're blessed for that. So yeah, that's pretty much how that works.
Awesome. Well, yeah. Well, I say right now, man, we could transition a little bit because that was great. Just get all the logistic part on how to do it. You know what I mean? How to do the whole wholesaling part.
Easy part.
Yeah, man. Exactly. So, I want to talk about you guys' business, like maybe like what's some of the like obstacles that y'all have faced on building the business?
What's the hard part?
Yeah, man, the hard part.
Yeah. But the main thing, and this is what me and Will, I mean, we teach this every week. We have a money-making motivational mindset Monday Zoom that we do every single Monday at 8 o'clock p.m. And, we teach our partners mindset. You understand what I'm saying? Because we understand this business is like 90% of mindset and it's 10% of what we just talked about, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, for me, like the biggest obstacle was really just coming off the job, coming off of that job, like when I was in corporate America, I had a pretty good job, I wore a nice suit every day and, all that crap, you know what I'm saying? But I was a guy that was still looking out the window because I had been self-employed before. So I was looking out the window and I was actually looking at the people that were, that were already out there doing some of the things that, that me and Will have an opportunity to do now. So I was one of the people that was looking out the window. And it was tough, man, just making that transition, from corporate America, knowing that I could actually sustain myself from month to month, doing the same, making the same amount of money that I could make, that I made on my job. That was the toughest thing, was realizing that that could actually happen. And, by the grace of God, we were able to, myself and my partner, Charles, who we both did it together at first, we were able to mindset our way. And that mindset thing didn't start, with, it didn't just happen. It was a thing that we had to, first of all, in our little cubicles, we had to actually put what was going to happen to us in front of ourselves in our cubicles, because everybody else was telling us we had a good job. You're like, why you guys want to leave? Why you guys trying to do this? Why you guys trying to do that? Yeah. And the meantime, we had a sales job, we had sales jobs. So we were trying to work production at the same time. So we had to consistently tell ourselves, what was going to happen with us in real estate. And for me, that was a tough thing to do, and just waiting until the time when I could get a deal closed, and waiting until the time where we could consistently make money in real estate. That to me was very tough. I don't know about anybody else, but coming from a 9-to-5, coming from corporate America, where they brainwash. I'm not gonna say brainwash, but yeah, brainwash. I'll go ahead and say it. Where they brainwash you into thinking that that they are your God, and they brainwash you into thinking that they are your source. But the resource. You understand what I'm saying? And it was very tough breaking that. And where you're making, you may be making $1,000, $2,000 a week. You understand what I'm saying? And and that was big back then. Because I didn't see any other way to come out. But slowly but surely, I had to mindset my way. And as I mindset my way, as I told myself that that I was going to be doing real estate that next year, as I continually told myself that every single day, then my belief began to rise. And as my belief began to rise, then I began to take action. So I had to visualize, I had to write it down, visualize it after I wrote it down. And then I had to tell myself that, and it's not lying to yourself, because it is who you are originally. You are originally, that is who you are. So you have to retell yourself or resell yourself on who you are. And that's what I had to do to build myself up and get to a place of where I could, where I could even, get to doing deals, and then much less, leaving my job. So that was, that was tough for me. That was really, really tough. I'll let Will go ahead and tell his side.
Yeah, well, you back on. I know you had hopped off for a minute. You can hear us?
Yeah, I apologize. I got booted off and I'm back on now.
Okay. Yeah, so, and we was just talking about some of the obstacles, that you may went through on building a business. Because I know you got multiple businesses as well. So, I
think I was just finna touch on the same thing. I think that in business, some of the things that I had challenges with, again, was first mindset. I think mindset is over everything, because Most people, they quit the business. They have lack of confidence. Uh, Mentally, they just get overwhelmed and over exhausted, and they just don't push forward and they don't continue. So I think it always start with mindset. Um, Another challenge, of course, was when I first got started. I didn't have the community that I have now. The community meaning like wholesalers of us and colleagues that I can depend on that can help me get through certain transactions or certain situations. In the beginning, I was just trying to do it on my own. I was just trying to figure it out. And if I would have had a community that I could lean on, kind of like how Wholesalers of us is, like we're a community. So we invite everybody to come partner and work with us. We don't have no charges or nothing like that where we're looking for money up front. We make our money off deals, meaning relationships, business. When we do business with people, that's how we get compensated. So I didn't have that in the beginning. I didn't have a community that I can lean on. So a lot of mistakes were made with me not having a Tim that I can call and talk to, or another version of myself. So that was another thing. You know, Limited capital in the beginning. When you first get started with any business, capital is everything. Being able to raise certain capital to be able to do certain things. So you basically got to grind your way up. And I think a lot of people get out of wanting to work hard to kind of build up that capital to get to where they're trying to go. They think that they look at people on social media and look at stuff and think that, when you look at people, you think that that stuff happened overnight. Like them people grinded their way to that part, so you can't look at that stuff. And a lot of that stuff is false anyway, so you got to just be willing to put in the work to get to wherever it is you're headed at, and other challenges, of course, marketing, just make sure you stay consistent with marketing, because again, like we talked about earlier, without marketing, you're not going to have any business coming in, and we can go on and on about, taxes and making sure you doing right by that part. Bringing on a team, like within our businesses, we have specific people that work.
Yeah, and I just want to hit on this real quick because
Yeah.
you brought on taxes. Hey, all right. So Tim, have you ever experienced like, okay, in your business where it's like you made so much money, but you probably didn't get a accountant or somebody to really come in and help you manage it? You be like, oh man, I got to pay these folks all this money.
Yeah, I mean, like you don't like when you start making money in the business, like you don't quite realize, like I'm gonna be really really transparent. Like I'd always wanted to make six figures. You know what I'm saying? And you don't quite realize, like when you start making six figures, you don't know, like what you got to do or anything like that. I mean, because you coming, like for me, I was coming from a W-2, you know what I'm saying? So with the W-2, like I was always getting money back, every year. So going from that to being self-employed, and then you turn into the six-figure area, then then yeah, I mean it's a transition, because you realize that all of a sudden, you don't, it's not like you get money back, but you actually owe. So yeah, I mean it's not, it's, I mean, it is what it is. I just say that it is what it is. You understand what I'm saying?
All right.
And you've got to be very, very diligent in dealing with that. So get your good big bookkeeper, and I'm gonna let Will talk about that even more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I just learned that, within that stuff, like can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, I mean, I think when it comes to taxes and all that type of stuff and just accounting and all that, you just gotta. That's just a part that you gotta add to your team. You know what I'm saying? Because me, I know I'm a business person. I'm not, a person that keep up with bookkeeping and stuff like that. So I literally, when I seen the first 2 years, that was an issue I was having. I basically had to hire somebody to kind of handle that for me. So that's just some of the things that come with business. You just got to make sure that somebody is handling that stuff, because trust believe that you got to account for the money you're making, so you got to know what your write-offs are and what's going in, what's going out, not mixing business with personal, all that type of stuff. So putting yourself on payroll, I had to put myself on payroll because I didn't want to not pay taxes that I'm making off money. I didn't want to spend money and not show I paid taxes on it. So, all those type of things, you just got to have the right accountants, right bookkeepers, right tax preparers in your circle that can kind of better educate you on how to go about it the right way,
Yep. Awesome. Yep. So yeah, so definitely we'll go ahead and we're getting down to the closing. Yeah, man. I really appreciate you guys, man, really breaking this down because y'all have a system that, I can see that anybody can win in.
Right.
Yeah, and it's like, and then also too, it's like, y'all training them for free.
Right.
Come in and you training people for free, like, because I have bought courses and stuff like that, but just to have you guys actually give it back like that, is big.
Well, just recently, like what we started doing was, like we've got partners that we actually provide the leads. We got to a point where we start providing the leads. Certain partners, of course, but we start providing the leads, and they do the cold calling. So it's a win-win situation for everybody. In that case, because I know a lot of times people don't have the money for leads. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
They don't have they don't have the capital, but they got the you know what I'm saying? They got the they got the want to, and they got they want to make it happen. So we just want to kind of make it another way that another obstacle can be eliminated. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Awesome. So I do want to hit on some of y'all community work, because like that all right. So like right now, what y'all doing? But y'all not, because y'all used to do what, meetups like once a week. Like how was the meetups going?
We do our meetups once a month.
Okay.
We've been doing our meetups actually through Zoom over the past, I think it's 3 months now. So we've been doing our meetups through Zoom, and you can actually visit like our meetups through Zoom. You can visit those online. They're on Wholesalers R Us YouTube, REI Wholesalers R Us YouTube. So
Okay.
we've been doing them. I think this past month we did not have a meetup, but we have been holding our meetups through Zoom over the last couple of months, and we really can't wait until we have an opportunity to get with everybody again, because we really love the atmosphere of the room. We can feed off of that, and again, that's another like when you talk about challenges. That's another challenge with the business, that that's like for us, that's another challenge is, transitioning, during this time, to making your business better, but also realizing that you can't quite see everybody, the way that you want to, that's another challenge. And that's something that we're working through, specifically by doing everything through Zoom. But we can't wait to start our physical meetups again. As soon as our mayor, as soon as she's in agreement, then we down.
Right, yeah, exactly.
we love our mayor, and we gonna do what she says, and we gonna follow her direction.
Yeah. So that's awesome. So hey Tim, so what you and I know you got some community work that you're doing, like you doing the Big Brother program?
Yeah, I'm a big brother, and in my church, I'm also I'm a minister. I am a licensed minister, and also we work through different charities. Warwick Dunn Foundation. Warwick does a lot of giveaways. He's a good friend. I admire him a lot. He does a lot of giveaways for houses and things of that nature. Will has an annual food giveaway, annual homeless giveaway. Feed the homeless, feed the hungry, every single year on his birthday. And we just, we here to give back. That's what we designed to do. As we come in, as things come in, we're supposed to give back. It's just what we do. You know what I'm saying?
Awesome. And I was just thinking about that Warren Dunn. I think I heard about that foundation. Yeah. And what it like? Is it focusing on like what women? Like what is it? What is it about?
We're partnering with Habitat for Humanity, and what they do is they actually fund fund a house. They actually build houses from the ground up, and they don't give the houses away. But what they do is, they give them reduced mortgage payments. The people, they own the houses, give them reduced mortgage payments. Houses come fully stocked. The houses come with everything. So they're partnered with a couple of different corporations that stock the houses with food. Everything you need to do just to move in. And and me and my wife, we were blessed, blessed to kind of be a part of that. And then of course, at church, I mean, we serve, in our church, in whatever capacity, that's needed to be,
Mm-hmm. All right. Yeah, man, we're gonna go ahead and end it off. You got anything else like you want?
Everything was covered.
Yeah.
Did
Everything was covered.
Did we explain it? I hope we explained everything.
I got a lot out of it.
Aspects, but hopefully we covered wholesaling.
Right, and that was the main purpose. That was the main purpose.
Okay. Everything was broken down. Yeah. Got a way better understanding everything.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because of course, we can go in deeper into some other aspects of real estate. Yeah. Right. Well, for time, because it's a lot of different levels to it. So I understand. Yeah.
We're thankful, and we're grateful to you guys. We pray that you guys grow the way that you want to. The plans that you've had, the plans that you put down, we're in complete agreement with those plans, and that it's going to grow and it's going to do the thing that needs to happen. So we're in agreement with you guys, and whatever you need from us, you know where we are. So definitely.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. We thank you and appreciate you all as well. Yep. That was some great information.
Very valuable.
Absolutely. A lot of wisdom.
This was a great show.
Thank you. So if you all can, just share, where our audience can find you all at. Any information on where they can find you all at.
Okay. On Facebook, of course, you can find him as William Galloway. You can find me as Tim Harvey. You can also find our community, REI Wholesalers Are Us. We have a group that you can actually join. REI Wholesalers Are Us. Then, of course, we're on YouTube as REI Wholesalers Are Us. We have a lot of information, free information on REI Wholesalers Are Us. We've got great stories, from some of our partners, that have gotten paid. We also have, a lot of our past meetups on there. It's a work in action, of course, on YouTube. But there is some great information that you guys can find on there. Also on Instagram, he's on Instagram as Uncle Bill Buy Houses. That's who he's on Instagram as, and I'm on Instagram as Who Is Tim Harvey. And guys, we've got our Monday Zoom that's coming up this Monday. Tomorrow at 8:00 p.m. And all a person has to do is send an email to REI Wholesalers Are Us at gmail.com, and we'll make sure that they get tagged into that Zoom, which will also be on Facebook Live. So, that's us, guys.
Cool. Awesome stuff. So definitely for our audience and our listeners that's listening into this podcast, I know you got some value out of this. Make sure you definitely hit that like button. Drop any comments below of any of your biggest takeaways that you got from this podcast episode. Feel free to share this around as well with anyone else you feel can benefit. And also for any information on the Rise of 1% Academy, of course, we help entrepreneurs and business owners taking their business to the next level, specifically on the internet. At this time, you can just go to the riseof1%.com. With that said, we thank you all again for hopping on and definitely sharing this great information with us and our listeners. And I will definitely see you all on the next episode. Have a great day on purpose.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
All right.
All right.
Thank you, guys.
All right. Thank you.